Have you ever opened a financial report and just been hit by a wall of numbers, charts, and jargon? It can feel pretty overwhelming, right? Well, what if I told you that in just the next few minutes, we can break it all down and turn all this complexity into perfect clarity? So here's our game plan. We're going to follow a really clear step-by-step path. We'll start by decoding the report, then get the big picture, nail down the key metrics you absolutely need to know, do a deep dive into specific companies, understand the economic forces behind the scenes, and finally, show you how to read the signals for yourself. All right, let's get into it. For our case study today, we're using a real-world auto sector update from Taurus Research dated December 12, 2025. This is going to be our guide to really understanding what's happening in the Pakistan auto market. Now, a quick but really important point here. This explainer is all about giving you a new skill. We're not here to tell you which stocks to buy or sell. The goal is to give you the tools, the method, so you can pick up any report like this and analyze it with confidence. Every good analysis starts with a big picture. Before we get lost in the weeds, we need to understand the overall health of the market. So, what's the main headline? What's the one number that sets the scene? Here it is, the foundational number, 15,420. That's the total number of passenger vehicles sold in Pakistan in November 2025. This single figure is our North Star, our starting point for everything that follows. But you know, a single number isn't a story. The real story, the interesting part, comes from comparison. The report tells us two things. Sales are down 11% compared to last month, but they're up a massive 53% compared to the same month last year. So wait a minute, how does that even work? A short-term dip versus huge long-term growth. This apparent contradiction, this little puzzle, is exactly what analysts look for. And to understand it, we need to start speaking their language. And that brings us to the key investor metrics. Honestly, learning these three simple terms is the secret to unlocking pretty much any financial report you'll ever come across. First up is month over month, or MOM. Think of this as the short-term momentum. Is the market heating up or cooling down right now? That 11% drop we saw, that's a MOM figure, and it's signaling a recent slowdown. Next is year over year, or YOY. Now, this one is crucial because it smooths out all that short-term noise and any seasonal weirdness. That huge 53% jump, that's a YO-year figure, and it tells us that despite the recent dip, the overall long-term trend for the auto sector is one of really strong growth. And finally, market share. This one's easy. It's basically asking, out of all the cars sold, what piece of the pie did each company get? It's the ultimate report card on who's winning the competitive battle for customers. And boom, a chart like this just lays it all out for you. You can see in a heartbeat who the big boss is, right? PSMC, or POC Suzuki, has a massive 43% of the market. Indus Motor and Honda Atlas are the other major players fighting for their share. Okay, so knowing who has the biggest piece of the pie is one thing. But who's actually growing their slice? Who's gaining ground? Let's use our new metrics now to dig a little deeper into how the individual companies are doing. All right, it's time to put our new knowledge to work. Let's see what the story is when we compare the top 3 players head-to-head. Man, this table just illustrates the different stories perfectly. You've got POC Suzuki, the market leader, but its monthly sales fell 11%. Indus Motor also saw a bigger jump, down 15%. But then, look at Honda Atlas. 0 change from last month and a staggering 130% jump from last year. Now that's interesting. Looking at PSMC's chart, you can see their sales dipped in November to about 6,600 units. The key takeaway here? As the market leader, their 11% drop had a huge impact on the entire market's monthly number. When the biggest player sneezes, the whole sector can catch a cold. For INDU, the story looks kinda similar on the surface, a 15% drop in monthly sales. But the crucial part is to remember their powerful 75% year-over-year growth. That context tells us this recent dip might just be a blip in a much stronger, positive long-term story. And here's HCAR. This is the real outlier. While its main competitors saw sales fall, HCAR sales held steady at over 2,600 units. This suggests the kind of resilience that you'd completely miss if you only looked at the headline numbers. You have to look beyond the market leader to find these hidden strengths. But why are these numbers what they are? Companies don't operate in a vacuum. Their performance is always driven by bigger economic forces happening all around them. The report points to several positive factors that help explain that big 53% yearly growth, things like stable inflation, stable fuel prices, and stable interest rates. They all make it easier for people to feel confident about making a big purchase. Throw in some discounts and new models, and you've got a recipe for demand.
But maybe the most direct driver for car sales, the real fuel for the fire, is the availability of loans. If it's easy and affordable for people to get financing for a new car, sales are almost always going to go up.
And this chart confirms it. Auto financing is in a clear uptrend, reaching 385 billion rupees. This rising tide of available credit is helping to lift the entire auto sector. It's the real engine behind that strong year-over-year growth we've been talking about.
Okay, so let's put it all together. We've decoded the jargon and we've connected the dots. Now let's summarize all of this into a simple framework you can use anytime you see a report like this.
Here's your 4-step toolkit. It's super simple. First, always start with that big total sales number. Second, analyze it using MOM, YOY, and market share. Third, compare the key companies to find the outliers and the hidden stories. And finally, fourth, connect it all to the broader economic forces that are driving the trends.
And there you have it. You now have the method to read the story behind the numbers. So the next time a report like this comes out, you'll be ready. The question is no longer, what does this all mean, but what signals will you look for next?